Here's what we're talking about today on Daily Blast Live.
Charges are dropped against Alec Baldwin in the Rust movie set shooting. Do you think he needs to be held liable, or should the blame be on the prop handler? The debate over potluck etiquette.
You are the problem, and everyone at the potluck doesn't like you.
Is there anything wrong with bringing only one pizza to a party? Conjoined twins who were separated will be here live to share how they've been able to survive and thrive after surgery. And do you enjoy a good scare? We're talking all about the trend taking over TikTok.
Oh my gosh.
Get real.
No.
Y'all, just stop. This is a sham.
It's finally here. Drum roll.
Welcome to DBL. You okay there, Tori?
I got it.
What you reaching for?
I was just putting down a cup and grabbing another. Cheers, everyone.
For 5 minutes, we've been sitting up here.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I just transferred the coffee.
And right when the cameras come on, Tori needs to create a
Hullabaloo.
As big as my lapels.
Yes.
You said a hubbabaloo?
Hullabaloo.
Hullabaloo.
I like that word.
All right, we're going to switch gears here. This is some big news. Charges against Alec Baldwin in the shooting death of Helena Hutchins have been dropped, all based on new facts that came to light. Alec was facing involuntary manslaughter charges after a prop gun went off on the set of his movie Rust in 2021, killing Helena and injuring the director. Now, according to the LA Times, the trigger mechanism on the gun had been modified, which increases the chance that it could misfire without Alec actually pulling the trigger. Alec has maintained he never pulled the trigger. The actor posted this shot of his head resting on his wife Hilaria's shoulders, writing, "I owe everything I have to this woman and to you, Luke," his attorney. Hilaria posted this shot of her curled up on Alec's lap and captioned it with a heart emoji. Tori, why was this information never presented to the public? And do you now change your stance when it comes to Alec Baldwin's involvement?
I'll answer your second question first, and I just want everyone to know this is how easy it is to be flexible of thought. Now that I know more facts, I absolutely think the charges against him in that way of involuntary manslaughter should be dropped. Do I think he's still liable as a producer of a set that was negligent and people walked off due to safety concerns? We had 2 other firearms going off. Yes, I do. Civilly, I do. Criminally, now that I learn more info and I know it's the truth, I'm allowed to change my opinion. So yes, Sam, I have critical thought, and I think absolutely it's down to the armorer at this point. As for whether they did or did not know, I bet you anything that lawyer Luke retested that gun with their own experts. They found some way to get in and find a loophole, and I'm not saying, or a loophole, I'm not saying, I don't mean to make this funny, it's just sort of uncomfortable, but what they basically did is found a way that gives you enough reasonable doubt to not even bring charges.
I never thought they were going to bring charges in the first place. I didn't think it was Alec's fault, even if they didn't find this technicality on the gun. I think it was the armorer's fault from the beginning. I've been saying that. So I think this might be a reason why they're letting Alec off. I'm sure they tested it and it was something like that. But I don't think they had enough to really prosecute him in the first place. I think he was being prosecuted because he was Alec Baldwin.
Yeah, I go with Tori on the idea of.
I've never said that. Yeah, me neither. What are you talking about?
Y'all leave Tori alone. No.
Self-esteem.
First of all, hold on. Okay, let's redirect.
Okay.
Because this is a serious story.
Yes,
and
you're right.
You know what you said was one of my favorite podcasters always says, reserve the ability to change your mind based on new information. And we were all very passionate about this case because at the end of the day, this was a very avoidable accident. It was an accident based in negligence, and it came down to who the negligent party truly was.
Right.
Obviously, the armorer is still facing charges. Alec's no longer facing charges, but also you have to add in the nuance of the court of law as well. Like, is the prosecutor going to bring charges against someone who they don't have a strong case against?
Right, exactly.
As opposed to another person, the armorer, who they do have a strong
100%,
case against.
yeah.
So I still, when we've been passionate about a lot of things in this story, because a young mom lost her life for absolutely no reason at all. So do I think that this is the right move? in the name of justice, I do think it's the right move.
Yeah.
And I know that we're going to hear more once they pursue civil charges.
Absolutely.
So we will.
It's not over.
No, it is not over. Okay, so the MyPillow guy, Mike Lindell, has been ordered to pay $5 million to a 63-year-old software engineer over election fraud claims. So back in 2021, Mike launched a quote-unquote prove Mike wrong challenge after claiming China interfered in the 2020 election. He offered $5 million to anyone who could prove his data didn't add up. Well, the engineer submitted a 15-page report disputing the data, and an arbitration panel agreed with him, not Mike. But Mike is refusing to pay that $5 million and said he expects the case to land in court. What do you think is going to happen?
I expect it to land in court too, Sam, but it's not looking good. I think him going to court, speaking of lawyers, if his lawyer lets him go to court, he will be humiliated. I listened to not only just another podcast in the car before the show, but I was listening to this all last night because I was fascinated. This guy, it needs to be said, this guy was a Trump supporter. All the people that were invited to this symposium to test this data were Trump supporters. There was nobody trying to troll or anything like this. And so he kind of wanted to, this guy voted for Trump twice. He said, I just wanted to make sure that what he was saying was right. He has a degree in cyber analytics. Ooh. Like, this is all he does for a living. His friends were like, you should just test it and see. And he said he tested it over and over again, and he was having trouble because he couldn't figure out what he was looking at, because what he was looking at was nothing. It was just number sequences, just random words. It'd be like your lawyer showing up in court, Erica, and in their briefcase they just have like confetti. And then there's nothing in there, and it's humiliating.
Wow.
And he should not go to court for this. This is super embarrassing. I'm sure he'll try to go to court and delay because that's a tactic, but I think he'll eventually pay because he was proven wrong. It's obviously enough to go forward. So I think my man's in some trouble.
He's your man?
My man, that's how black folks talk.
But only the people that we like, let's be clear.
Yeah.
Mr. Pillow, no. I will say this really quickly. If he has a good defense attorney, that wasn't a contract he had with anyone. That was an oral statement. And you could, at some point, I looked into Minnesota law, say at some point that wasn't a legal binding agreement, what he did. That was a just for show, whatever. But I still think he made a huge mistake, and he looks like a complete idiot now.
What do you think? That's an interesting angle. What do you think will ultimately happen? Obviously, this is just speculation. You're not a lawyer, but
I think that's hard to say that he had a binding agreement with every single person in that symposium. I think they would say it was more of what an orator says, and it was just off the cuff, and there's no legally written contract. So he might not go to court, but he's been in court of public opinion. Not so good.
Not so good.
Not so good, Mr. Pillow.
That's a lot of pillows.
So many pillows.
5 million pillows. I was watching the Trump, remember when he spoke at Mar-a-Lago or whatever? And I was like, is that the My Pillow guy? He's like in the back.
I know.
He's like the first one there. I'm like, what are you doing there?
Yeah.
The My Pillow guy.
Major
I guess he's
donor.
a big supporter.
Major donor.
Yeah, well, 5 million less, it seems like now.
Okay. Coming up on DBL, do you actually...
You didn't see him there?
I did.
Well, what's
Saw
up?
him
I
too.
found like Waldo.
That's how I feel every day.
He's just funny, out of place. I don't know. Go ahead.
Do you like being scared? Wait until you see the new prank, the new trend that's taking over TikTok. And would you pay $80 for that cake? We're talking about all the drama over why a lot of people are saying no way next.
DBL, this show is amazing.
there's a lot going on down here.
I would have been part of the Mile High Club.
Yeah.
So on point. But I'm going to have a conversation about what's happening now.
So apparently, the audience, you all say 100% he should pay up. Here's the thing. If you're going to challenge someone, I don't know the law like Tori does, and if you say that statement and somebody actually comes and puts in the work, a 15-page report doesn't take 2 seconds. How much? And I know he's very experienced, so it's not like if I did a 15-page report, but still.
Yeah, you have to listen to them. You have to listen to what they found.
So he listened to a whole podcast about it.
It was fascinating because the guy said he called his wife and was like, this is ridiculous. Like, this is a Trump supporter. This is a person
Right, this isn't someone trying to gotcha.
Right, this is just, it's just so interesting that he was so steadfast in these. I mean, he's the only person that has never been. He, along with Dominion, is being sued for this, and Sidney Powell. So the fact that he is still standing strong, not only dealing with the lawsuit that's coming from Dominion and probably Smartmatic voting, not probably, definitely.
Definitely.
But also, he's now got this on his plate, and it completely undermines him for those cases as well. So this is like, Mike Lindell has just been a person that.
It's too bad.
It's hard to. You speculate that there's some mental health issues there, but at the same time, he's not too mentally ill to be a multimillionaire. But I wonder how, those sales are looking, because I think a couple years ago he might have just forked that $5 million over. I think there's a reason he's fighting it now. No matter how much money, you keep getting sued.
Right.
They're gonna come for you. Those legal fees.
Right.
It's a thing.
It's a thing.
Based on the foregoing analysis.
Welcome back. A baker in West Virginia is under fire over a dispute she had with a dissatisfied customer, now known as Cake Gate. Yeah. It all started when the baker posted a video on TikTok blasting the client, who was unhappy after being charged $85 or $84 for a 6-layer rainbow cake that was covered in sprinkles. The baker said all her rainbow cakes have sprinkles. She added she doesn't place the sprinkles on individually, so each cake might look different. The customer then posted the actual cake. Yeah, and the comments were savage, you guys. Some people called the cake sloppy, others called it garbage. So then the baker responded to the haters by posting this. Watch.
I have worked extremely hard to get where I am, and just the fact that you guys that have nothing going on with your life and yourself have so much to say about a situation that you don't know the full backstory on. I would, just keep my mouth shut because it's not doing anything.
Yeah, I don't need to know the full backstory on a cake. It's either I want to eat it or I don't. And that cake looked terrible. That's all I don't need to know the background.
It looks bad. It looks really bad.
I mean,
it looks look at that.
$85 for that?
Look at that. With
it's the audacity.
Yes.
It's the audacity for me. How you gonna serve something like that and charge somebody with a straight face, $85, and then you, the baker, have the audacity to hop on TikTok and blast the client who paid you the $85 for that happy birthday?
Yeah, show it again. She's absolutely right.
Yeah.
It doesn't even
Happy birthday. What is that?
I know.
Birthday's a big holiday in West Virginia.
If the customer had gone on, which she would have had every right to do, and said something about that happy birthday cake, then that would be one thing. But you gave subpar service for a subpar product, and now you're going to take your subpar behind on TikTok and talk about somebody who gave you money?
We're talking about somebody that took the sprinkles off with her hand and posted it. Are you kidding me?
Gross.
Is there any recipe that says then slap the sprinkles off the cake? That was very strange.
I'm glad it wasn't me as a husband picking up that cake, because I would have picked it up, paid, got home, and I would have been in trouble.
Yeah, you
Did you look at the cake? What do you want from me? I don't know. You bought it.
It's your birthday.
Yeah.
Birthday. Oh my gosh. Okay, in another dispute about food, a woman is going viral on TikTok after she attended a potluck and blasted a guest who showed up with a single pizza. Watch.
I went to a potluck recently, a potluck where you each bring something. There were about 30 people and someone brought one pizza. That's not how a potluck works. So then separately, while that person ate their one pizza, I had to order 4 more pizzas so that everyone at the potluck could eat pizza.
Okay, we got the hostess with the mostest, the queen of partying.
Oh, that's me.
I was going to give one more, and I ran out of steam.
Yeah, she did.
Eric, what would you say if you organized a potluck and I came in with one pizza? Would that bother you, or you'd say that's appropriate?
Well, first of all, I know your pizza is going to be vegan, so anyone else who is vegan, we got you covered, okay? Secondly, she wasn't the host, and you're talking about a potluck with 30 people. That means that there's 30 different dishes. The biggest thing that I really have a lot of anxiety about when hosting is having so much food that now we have leftovers that no one's going to eat. So I always have like the little containers to pack things up and send it back. The fact that she decided to get 4 more pizzas was really a flex on her own behalf, because there were 29 other dishes to choose from, and she didn't have to step in on that at all. Like, why are you shaming this person? I don't expect
because they brought one pizza to a potluck.
Yeah, but I don't expect that everyone that I invite to my home is going to be able to provide the same level of anything. So maybe that's all that they could afford.
But Al's upset.
I'm not upset. I don't think it's a good look. First of all, it's almost better to show up with nothing than
it's absolutely not.
Pizza. I would rather you showed up with like plastic knives and forks. One pizza, it's not enough for anybody. That is not the way a potluck works.
It's enough for a pizza.
The optics of it do not work. There are 30 people at the party.
He's saying walking in.
You want to bring 30 pizzas? That's insane.
If I got one pizza for the 5 of us, would that be enough?
If we all brought something, it'd totally be enough.
But there's 30. I'm saying so we're scaling this example down. If there's just 5 of us, one pizza, there's what, 10 slices? That's not enough.
How do you know it's not cut Chicago style where they're squares?
Because she brought one pizza to a potluck, Erica. It's not a good look.
What if that's
Even if you bring breadsticks, bring something else that's not enough on its face.
What if that's all she can afford? And first of all, that's plenty.
Then you talk with the person ahead of time and be like, hey,
Maybe
I'm really broke.
So at potlucks, do you bring enough for every single person? Would you bring
absolutely not.
You don't bring
Jeff,
30
people. I didn't say one for everybody, but when you do bring a casserole or something to a potluck, it's something that everybody kind of takes a little bit of.
No.
There's not enough of that.
What if you bring an appetizer, like my pickle things? I brought the Erica's. I didn't bring enough pickles for everybody.
Mainly because I ate 20.
That's a different dish.
My pita tray and my fruit tray. It probably didn't feed your whole party.
That's to pick at, but when you bring a piece of pizza, that one slice
that's not
is
a
for
potluck.
somebody.
That's a progressive dinner.
I don't
Two
know.
totally different things.
No, I know what a progressive
At a progressive dinner, you have enough for every single person. At a potluck, you have enough.
I don't know what that is.
So one pizza for 30 people, you're just going to show up with that, and that's cool.
What's a progressive dinner? A dinner where you like honor Bernie Sanders?
Is it like eco-friendly?
You can start with one person. They do the salad. They have enough salad for everybody. Then the appetizer, another person. They have enough appetizer for everybody. And then the main, so everyone is doing enough for everybody, but it's less people contributing to the event.
If I got a letter for like, hey, do you want to come to a progressive dinner? I'd be like, what? I'm not going to this
like
thing.
Tory sent this.
You're just invited for my progressive dinner.
I'm not going to a progressive dinner.
Bring your pizza instead.
Coming up on DBL.
Oh, boy.
Is it funny or cruel to scare people on purpose? We're talking about this TikTok trend next.
When you're out and about or even at home and you're feeling thirsty, you could be reaching for a can of soda, a bottle of water, or even a cup of coffee. All of these in so-called single-use materials that can have another life if recycled properly. We checked with these sources to verify how to recycle cans, plastic drink bottles, and disposable coffee cups. You absolutely should recycle aluminum beverage containers when you can, but should you crush a can before recycling it? No.
It's okay to crush them a little bit to make room in your recycling bin.
But our sources say fully crushed, flat, and skinny cans are harder to detect when sorting through mixed stream recycling at recycling facilities.
Small items tend to fall through the screening process and may get lost in the system.
Are you supposed to remove the cap of a plastic bottle before recycling? No. In fact, for the very same reason you don't crush the can, you should leave the cap on to ensure it's recycled.
And if that cap is removed, it's not going to make its way through the process.
The EPA says to leave labels on the bottles as well. Are disposable coffee cups recyclable? Let's break it down. Republic Services Waste Management Company explains the cardboard sleeve is recyclable, but the cup itself is typically paper coated with a plastic lining. That won't properly break down in most recycling facilities. However, it depends on where you live. The District of Columbia is one of few places in the country where you can toss a disposable coffee cup in the recycling. Most plastic lids are recyclable, but that will vary based on the type of plastic and your location. It's information that takes seconds to look up and could keep items from spending years in a landfill.
It matters for the planet, it matters for the people, and it matters for the economy.
Whatever it is you're tossing, make sure it's as clean and dry as possible. Not only does that help the machinery properly identify and sort the different materials, it's also, as a reminder, a really good thing to do for the people who are sorting through all of this and making recycling happen.
Welcome back to DBL. So I've got a question for you. Not only you. Do you ever get scared?
It's Friday.
I love
Do
her
you
so
ever
scared by that.
get scared? Like actually scream out loud, scared? Or do you hate it if someone scares you? Well, there's a new trend going around TikTok that involves people getting scared on purpose with one simple phrase. What was that? Take a look.
What? 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 Babe, what? What? What is it?
Oh my God, go back in, go back in. No, oh my God.
I love it.
It's so good. That's just our instinct.
Yeah,
We're
you're right.
protecting ourselves. It's survival.
Lizard brain, you're absolutely right.
Yes.
It absolutely is. When somebody's running, you run with them and you
Yes,
figure it out later.
always run. Always run.
I will say this. I looked at the second clip we saw where the woman in the workout outfit ran back in. Her dude went out there to see if he could handle it. He didn't even see anything. Obviously, there's nothing there. But I do like that instinct where he's like, if there's something coming after her, I'm going to try and slow it down. So I did appreciate that instinct.
I get scared very easily, and Mr. Jeffrey Schroeder has been capitalizing on that.
You don't say.
In fact, here we go.
It's my favorite.
Your face is hilarious.
One more time.
It's the same scream.
You did the dinosaur. You did the T-Rex.
I hate being scared. I hate it. I hate it.
And you do a cute little like movement.
Yes.
He just once scared me out here, and I go, whoa, I'll throw a punch.
That's not true. She did not do that. That's why I'm recording them now, because I do it all the time. I don't know why. If you guys don't like it, I won't do it anymore. But I love it. I think it's hilarious. And I was trying to build up a whole reel with everybody.
You're off to a
But
good start.
I'm a little scared to scare Erica. I don't know how that works.
You smart.
Who plays the most pranks? Because I know you've dumped earring backings in my boots. You've scared me.
Al goes, here, this is a really special gift for you today. It was a piece of trash.
No, when was this?
This morning.
Put a lot of thought into that, Frank.
No.
Or he'll go, Tori, on the show, give me a pen. And I'll give him a pen, and he'll go,
Yeah, I know. He does that.
Yeah.
Yeah, he'll literally ask for like
Both
my
laughed
phone.
at that. I'm fine with it. I'll take it.
He'll ask for my phone and then just like run with it.
yeah,
He's
so
gone.
rude. He put my shoe up there once.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
So I think you're the biggest prankster. Without yours is more thought out. Yours is in
Mine
the
is,
moment.
yes,
Yeah, it is.
I'm annoying
Improv.
in real time.
Yeah.
I love it.
Ebony, our makeup artist, I got you and Ebony like in one. Remember that one?
Which one?
I don't know. I jumped out and scared you.
yeah.
And Ebony just pulled full T-Rex. And she just went, like everyone else ran and she just froze. I'm like, oh my God, I felt so bad.
It's the only time you can see like fight or flight in real situations. Because everybody, it's so weird. Everybody's like, if somebody was in my house, I'd square up with them. It's like when somebody really catch you off guard, unless you're like trained in martial arts, you just freeze for a while. So shout out to anybody that can't react.
It's your adrenaline.
Yeah, it does.
does.
Feels good.
The whole
Be right
thriller.
The federal government is preparing to end its emergency COVID declaration in May, signaling the end of certain pandemic programs, but not the end of COVID. Chances are you know someone right now who is sick with the virus or had an exposure to it.
So say your loved one has a direct COVID exposure and then comes home to you. Do you need to quarantine? Let's verify rules for an exposure to an exposure. Our sources are the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, a new study published in the Emerging Infectious Diseases Journal, and Dr. Chris Ohl, an infectious diseases physician with Atrium Health Wake Forest Baptist. Their answer in most cases is no.
We don't quarantine contacts of contacts. So the scenario of this is if you have an exposure to COVID, and then you come home from your exposure at work, and now your wife is exposed to you, she doesn't need to test. She doesn't need to quarantine. It's really only people who are directly exposed to people who are test positive, either symptomatic or asymptomatic.
So then, if the person directly exposed were to later test positive, how soon would he be contagious? The Emerging Diseases study found the incubation period for the common Omicron subvariants like BA.5 is shorter than that of the Delta strain that dominated 2021. That means an infected person could be contagious sooner, but for a smaller window of time. So keeping distance from your loved ones after a direct exposure can help prevent contagion. In conclusion, we verified no, you don't have to quarantine after being exposed to someone who had a direct COVID exposure, but the person directly exposed does need to take precautions.
Those direct exposure rules per the CDC are to mask up for 5 days and test on day 6. If positive or if symptoms develop, isolate. The CDC's website has a COVID isolation and exposure calculator to help you figure out what to do and for how long. With your Verify, I'm Megan Maleris.
David's Bridal filed for bankruptcy protection for the second time in 5 years. The announcement comes just days after the company said it plans to eliminate more than 9,000 U.S. jobs this year. And that has Verify viewers curious if the company is still selling dresses. So let's verify. Can you still get your dress order fulfilled at David's Bridal? Our sources are court documents, David's Bridal, and Laura McKeever, Senior Manager of Brand PR, Philanthropy, and Communications for David's Bridal. Court documents show David's Bridal filed for bankruptcy protection on April 16th, but the company says it's in the process of looking for a buyer who can continue to operate the business going forward. In the meantime, Laura McKeever, a spokesperson for David's Bridal, says the company is still fulfilling new and existing dress orders in store and online, and that the company plans to fulfill those orders on time. So we can verify, yes, you can still get your dress order fulfilled at David's Bridal despite the recent bankruptcy filing. The company says it is also still currently honoring gift cards, exchanges, and returns. With your Fast Fact, I'm Ariande Till. Welcome back.
Never get old.
We do have a lot of comments.
More to come. More
in
to come.
regard to that. Great. Sherry says, Jeff, shame on you. Jamie says, Jeff Schroeder, you are an absolute legend. That's hilarious. Whoa.
Yeah.
I don't think
should be in your yearbook.
A legend.
We could end the show now.
Yeah. Stay sweet.
Keep in touch.
Carol says, I get started very easily as well. Yeah. All right. If you're leaving us, I'm going to get you back, Jeff.
You know, I do peek around corners because I know it's coming.
It's coming. It's on. If you're leaving us, you can watch the second half of the show online. Watch on YouTube, dailyblastlive.com, or our DBL mobile app. But if you get the second half of the show where you are, here's what's ahead. Conjoined twins who survived and thrived after separation surgery will be here live to share their amazing story. Plus, Martin Lawrence is talking about how his friend Jamie Foxx is recovering after a medical complication. We'll find out how he is doing next.
Verify viewers Rachel and Hannah both received this notification on Facebook. It claims they might be entitled to a payment from the settlement of a lawsuit and reached out to verify if it's legit. So let's verify. Our sources are Facebook and court records in a class action lawsuit filed against Facebook. In 2018, Facebook revealed that data mining firm Cambridge Analytica gathered details on as many as 87 million of its users. The data may have been used to target voters during the 2016 presidential election. In response, a group of Facebook users sued the social media company, now known as Meta, because they claimed they did not consent to sharing their data and that Facebook didn't enforce rules on third parties. Meta denied wrongdoing, but in December agreed to a nearly $1 billion settlement. Facebook tells Verify it sent some users notifications within the platform informing them that they might be eligible to receive compensation. So, yes, the Facebook user data privacy class action settlement is real. The settlement is open to people who used Facebook between 2007 and 2022 and who complete an online form. The exact amount each person will receive depends on how many people submit a claim. You can find a link to that form on verifythis.com. With your Verify, I'm Brandon Lewis.
Are you skeptical of headlines and what you see on social media? We are too. The Verify newsletter helps you distinguish between true and false information by answering your questions. It provides fast facts on trending topics, spotlights major stories, and even includes a daily fun fact for all those trivia buffs out there. Get Verify's fast facts delivered every weekday to your email inbox. Go to verifythis.com/email to check it out.
This is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about.
Oh my gosh.
Get real.
No.
Y'all, just stop.
This is a sham.
It's finally here. Drum roll.
Welcome to DBL. Jamie Foxx has been in the hospital for more than a week, and we still really don't know why. Well, yesterday's friend Martin Lawrence gave an update while getting his star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. Take a look.
I hear he's doing better, from what I hear, and my prayers go out for him every night, and just wishing the best for him. One of the best that we got in Hollywood. Not only one of the best entertainers, but a good person.
So, should we wait for Jamie's camp to give us an update rather than speculate? What are you thinking, Erica?
Well, first of all, this is no shade to my girl Rachel Lindsay, because that's who asked the question, and I love her. And she's asking the question that everybody wants to know. But I think our appetite for information every minute on the minute has to be suspended in matters of health like this. Like, we clearly aren't hearing about his updates for a reason. Yeah. And I think energy is very important. So I know a lot of people have been sending a lot of great energy his way, and prayers and well wishes. And that's what I think we should be doing.
I think, as someone who has a parent in the hospital right now, time moves in slow motion. Tests are done 2 days from now. You don't hear from lab results. So you start to become, there's something Sam, from Eric, ICU, psychosis, when everything starts to become the same. And there's no update, and everyone's asking, what is it? What is it? What is it? I don't know. We don't know. We don't know. So it's better for Jamie, if it is something with the brain, that he rests, for the heart that he rests, and we shut up. We just shut up.
And even in recovery, it's, this, 2 steps forward, 4 steps back.
1,000,000%.
And it's frustrating. And I think, we're all on the same page here. Good, positive energy, prayers, wishing him well, and yeah, the speculation, I can only imagine, adds additional stress to the family.
Absolutely.
So our prayers and positive thoughts are with you, Jamie. So the key to a happy marriage, never be apart. At least that's what HGTV stars Aaron and Ben Napier say. The hometown couples say they are never apart and form their adult identities around each other. They say it's the only way they know how to be grown-ups. What do you think about this, Al?
There's different ways to live this life. Some people are loners, as it's said. My dad was kind of like that. My dad kind of liked to be by himself a lot, and when, sometimes you'll go out, you'll be driving in a rural area and you're like, who lives out here? Somebody that doesn't want to be around a whole bunch of people.
That's a good point.
And that's just the way some people are wired. And other people, Tori, you're not to this extreme, but you are openly in a healthy codependent relationship. You guys need to be with each other. So that's a little strange.
I find
but
that
if it's really the only way that you know how to...
I know.
You were putting it out so well. And then you're just like, well.
Their situation of never.
That's right. No,
but they work together. So, they really can be together all the time. That's what I'm saying. Their situation's a little strange, but I think it's more common than you
Al's had a rough week. Can we just give Al a hug over here? We love you, buddy.
On top of
We've been on Al this week.
I need some self-care.
We love you, Al. Yeah, you do. Yeah,
He's bringing it up. He's bringing it back
That's
up.
funny. No, I think having your own identity is very important. Brooks is my absolute best friend. I really enjoy not talking after doing this job and just talking to him and having a quiet little life. That really makes me my garden, my crop, that makes me really happy. So I get it, but sometimes it can become you enmesh. The enmeshment is when you don't know where you end and they begin. That's dangerous. That's when you don't have your own self-validation, and that's really something you got to look out for codependent people like myself.
Yeah, I'm the opposite.
I
You know what
know,
I mean?
yeah.
Like, for real, not in the sense, like totally opposite, but in the sense like my kids are here today because my wife needs a break from me, from the kids, from everybody. Everyone needs a little break once in a while. So I had to bring my kids to work and vice versa. Sometimes I'll take myself out of the situation. Sometimes I know they need a break, so I'll go somewhere else. It's for me, that's healthy. Being together all the time.
Yeah, that's too much.
It's unhealthy for me.
Erica, how do y'all roll? I mean, things out of town sometimes.
Well, yeah, we sometimes are like two ships passing in the night. So when we are together, we do have quality time and we value that. But when he has to go somewhere, like for work or something, I'm like planning my week. Like I can do whatever.
That is healthy. I started doing that,
want.
Brooks went away and I was like, yes. Yep. And I had some, not that way, but I had time. No, I just mean I had time to myself and I was like, I'm enjoying this.
Dude, is it bad to feel guilty about that? Like just nobody's home and you're just like, dude, Vandy's and whatever.
Spread out.
There is a stress.
Sorry.
I mean, Sam, do you ever get, you hardly ever get time by yourself.
I love time by myself and I rarely get it. And listen,
Almost
I
never.
love spending time with my husband. We do date nights on Saturday nights, but when he plays pool here and there during the week, I'm like, Vandy's, all by myself. Couch, warm blanket.
Keep going.
Cold shard.
Keep going.
Maybe a cold shard, maybe some mushroom tea.
Nice.
Oh, I didn't know that was It's amazing what one word does.
That list could have kept going, I feel like.
Oh, wow. Not magic mushroom tea, just mushroom tea.
You mean the worst kind.
All right. A CEO of a furniture company is going viral for all the wrong reasons during a recent pep talk with her employees. She called them out for being more concerned about their bonuses and not the company's bottom line. Watch.
Don't ask about what are we going to do if we don't get a bonus. Get the damn $26 million. Spend your time and your effort thinking about the $26 million we need and not thinking about what you're going to do if we don't get a bonus. All right? Can I get some commitment for that? I would appreciate that. I had an old boss who said to me one time, you can visit Pity City, but you can't live there. So people, leave Pity City. Let's get it done. Thank you. Have a great day.
Pity City? The CEO has since apologized for coming across as insensitive, but here's the thing. She has received millions of dollars in bonuses herself.
Yeah.
So she doesn't have to go to Pity City.
Right.
She lived in the suburbs of Pity City.
She went to Party City. Yeah. No.
Good one, Erica.
Sorry. No.
You went to Party City.
So I
know.
I don't know why. We are in the age of transparency.
Yeah.
But I don't know who these people are who are at the top of anything in towards an organization that think that like we don't all know what's going on in one way or the other. So if you making money and we not making money as the employees, it is a problem. And trust me, people are talking to one another about it, and they're trying to figure out why they're not getting their due, and you are getting more than due.
Yeah.
Like, they want to know. And the way that she's speaking to the employees is so belittling.
Insulting.
Why would anyone be motivated to work for someone like that? Like, y'all got it all twisted. The Great Resignation has taught people nothing, because a lot of people are going to be looking at a lot of empty desks when people find out where they can get better pay and better treatment elsewhere. Go where you are celebrated, not where you are tolerated.
And just to add to that, there's not a lot of people say there's not a labor shortage, there's a living wage shortage, and we have to acknowledge that's what we're getting in response is, can I get an affirmation? Thank you. I would punch my screen only because she got millions in bonuses. You're lying to me. And in this age of transparency, I can look it up. So sorry, my voice gets high, but I find that so patronizing, so bad.
Yeah. I'm going to take the other side just for fun.
Please.
Okay.
I understand what she's saying. The message and the delivery, not at all.
Terrible.
Not at all. But a lot of people think they're owed something they're not. You put your head down, you work. Those days are over. You want a fair share of that company, you start your own company. Don't tell me what you're worth when you just got here and you want to make the same as someone who's put in the time for 20 years. That's not the same thing. People want to start at the ground level and just all of a sudden jump to CEO. That's not how it works. And this is kind of that messaging said in the wrong way.
But I think there's like an issue with just like fundamentally how our system is set up. We're like, Erica, Jeff, Tori, join the DBL team. We're all going to work together. And yes, we're going to go after these team goals. Everything around the office is team, team, team. But we are all capitalists. Everybody watching this television is a capitalist because that's the system that we work underneath. So your job is to get as much money as you possibly can. So that contradicts the idea of being part of a team unless we are all making the same money and going after the same goals. So she's telling them to be a team while she is being a capitalist. And that right there
is hypocrisy.
It's hypocrisy on its face, and it's insult with the finger pointing.
Yeah, because people took that position and went to her company as opposed to a different company because they had a bonus structure in place. If you're saying that we don't have any money for bonuses, that means nobody gets one. Not even you get one, and everybody else has to say, oh, okay, well, I guess I've been here for a year, and I was depending on this bonus, because a lot of people will get bonus structures that actually add up to the totality of what they need for their salary.
Right.
So that's a different thing. So if you're saying there's no bonuses across the board, then no one gets one, including you, Pity City.
And again, this situation is not great, but I'm telling you, people think they're owed something and they're not. You're not owed anything. You learn lessons. You got to climb the stairs. You can't just jump to the top. There is no elevator. You learn lessons along the way, and when you get there, that's when you get paid. You don't just start pointing fingers and saying, how come not me? That's the message I'm saying, not saying she's right or wrong.
Give me my bonus.
She's lucky it's not
Christmas. Erica took the elevator.
Give me my bonus. I earned that bonus. I was here, wasn't I?
I was thinking Clark Griswold with the pool.
DBL conjoined twins who were the first to survive and thrive after separation surgery will be here live. That's next. Our viewers are talking about DBL.
Yes!
I like that.
Leaves me speechless. I'm like blushing. Thank you, thank you. That's emotional. Do I want to sit there and watch them? Yes, I do.
Christmas Vacation. If you've seen National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation, you know that Chevy Chase was counting on his bonus to get his pool.
Yeah, right.
He didn't get the bonus, or he got a
I
really
was thinking
small bonus.
No,
he
they
got.
gave him I was thinking
something
about something. I was like,
Jeff.
Yeah,
that's what I was
asking. What are the month club? What did they? Jelly donut of the world.
Yeah,
Jelly
first of all,
donut.
you got a fruit, and so he ends up going there. Like you know the
Randy
whole premise.
Quaid went.
Yes. Randy Quaid, his brother-in-law in the movie.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, anyways, it reminded me of that premise, but how patronizing would make me want to quit.
It's the tone. Yeah, it was deliberate.
Well, and you have to, you have to consider, like, if you're, like, let's just make it really fundamental. If you had a salary of, your total salary is supposed to be $10,000. You're taking this as a salary position for $7,000, knowing that you're going to get a $3,000 bonus in May. Right. Now you're saying, okay, well, I can afford, or this job makes sense for me and my family because I need to make $10,000 a year, just like arbitrary numbers, in order to survive. Now you have to survive that year at 30% less because you aren't receiving a bonus that you took on. There's generally contracts involved. This is a much bigger deal than people are really considering.
How would she
exactly.
feel?
And then if she's getting millions of dollars, then you don't take, or you take less of a bonus in order to make sure that your employees are taken care of.
Yes.
This is
Do you
very
think
simple
the
and
problem is
basic.
calling it a bonus? Because it makes the outsider think that, like, oh, it's something they give. But I think a lot of people depend on their bonus because they get it all the time.
Yeah, because bonus structures for a lot of people are inherently built into
Right, that's
their
what I'm
pay
saying.
structure.
Welcome back. Our next guests have an amazing story about sisterhood that is a little bit closer than you might think. Take a look.
I'm Linda. I'm Lillian. And what makes us unique?
In 1955, Linda and Lillian were born in Indianola, Mississippi as conjoined twins. 5 weeks later, for the first time in history, they were both successfully separated.
Allegedly, we're the first set of conjoined twins to be separated and both live and thrive.
Throughout their childhood, their father, an elementary school principal, encouraged a strict education above all.
We had a great childhood as far as family was concerned. You know, we were a large family. It was 11, well, at the time, it was 9 of us at the time. The first time we were apart was when we went to college. We actually lived in different dorms.
Following their passion, they both became teachers.
I knew I wanted to be a teacher even before I started school, I think.
And they were both able to have children, despite doctors saying they could not.
I had my first child right before I turned 20. So after I had mine, we knew definitely, yeah, we could have some children.
67 years later, now both retired and with grandchildren, they are still holding each other's hand every time they are together.
It's that bond that we have, and we hold hands, we look at each other, and we just start laughing.
And they are never letting go.
Oh my gosh, that is beautiful. Here to tell us about their lives as separated conjoined twins, please welcome to the show Linda Wilson and Lillian Holland.
Welcome, Queens. We're so excited to have you here today.
Thank you.
Yes. So I want to go.
They're so in sync, I know.
I want to go right to the start. Linda, what was your childhood like with Lillian? And were you both treated differently by other people?
We had a pretty normal childhood. We got along really well with our siblings, our classmates, and people in the community. I think the only way we could say we were probably treated differently was when we were in elementary school. Back then, the teachers would take us to the back of the room and, raise our dresses, and they would other people come in and look at our scars.
They raised your dresses?
No. And looked at our scars, and they were in awe. We have no navel, so that was something that was unique.
Wow, that's
and
disgusting.
And in the end, it was pretty traumatic. It was a traumatic experience.
Well, yes.
We think that's why we never sought the limelight, because if it meant pulling up your dress.
Oh my goodness.
So we went home and told Mom about it, and of course, she was a mom. She went out there and took care of it.
Go for her.
Never had to raise our dresses again, but it did.
I was going to say, I think that's all that needs to be said.
Yeah.
I think Mom went up there. Now let's talk about some fun times in school. I'm thinking high school must have been so much fun. Now, Lillian, let's be real. Did you ever switch it up and pretend that you were Linda?
Ooh.
I did once. We did switch only once in high school. We did it more in college than we did when we made it to Valley. We switched the class. She went to classes that I had didn't really want to go to, so she would go take care of that, and I would go to the classes that I was pretty good in for her. And of course, we had one incident in Spanish where she really did not understand Spanish. She couldn't really read it, and she couldn't write it. So she asked me to take a test for her once. And she said, just make 70. All I want you to do is just pass. That's all you have to do. I went in that classroom. I took the test. The next class period, when she came back, and she was so upset with me, and I couldn't understand why, because I had taken the test. And of course, she found out the teacher said class didn't do well, but there was only one student who really, really excelled, and that was Linda Wilson. Linda Matthews at the time. And he said she made 99. So excited. And he called her up to help. He wanted her to come up and help review the class, review the test, which she couldn't do since she couldn't read or understand and write. So she was able to fake it and say she had a stomach ache and she wasn't feeling well, and the teacher let her go, and he took care of the class. So after that, we let it go. We never tried it, and we never tried to pull that on people. We never tried to trick anybody. We wouldn't do that to people. That's not right. Except one of her friends.
You say one of the boyfriends?
One of the boyfriends did not know us apart, and so he gave me a cross so he would know me. She was not any good at that time. She went out and bought the exact same cross and put it on. So he still could not tell us apart. So that just wasn't right. So she did things like that.
You guys have a lot of good stories.
I love it.
Here's one that blows my mind, but I can completely understand it. Linda, you have said that you have felt a pain in your stomach when your sister was going through a traumatic event. When is the time you felt it the most? Maybe you continue to, and what does it actually feel like?
Yes. I remember she was pregnant, and one day I came home from school because we were both teachers. I came home from school, and my husband and I were living in Oklahoma City at the time, and I just started feeling this pain in my stomach, and I knew I wasn't sick, but I just kept feeling it more and more. And eventually I told my husband, I said, I think Doll's having a miscarriage, you know, because of the pain I was feeling. Now, my pain probably was only a portion of what she was feeling at the time. But within 10 minutes, I got a call from her husband, and he told me she just lost the baby.
Wow.
Oh my gosh, that is remarkable.
Wow, that's
Unbelievable.
unbelievable. You have about 30 seconds here, but I want to get to this so much. I want to talk about holding hands because I'm guessing you're doing it right now. There you are. What does that mean to you guys? That's a special connection. Tell me about holding hands for you.
We think we did it in the womb, and that it simply carried over. And that we just hold hands whenever we're together having a good time, or if we're going through something and we need to comfort each other, we tend to hold hands. It's not something we do around people, but when it's the two of us, you know, together alone, and that's when we tend to hold hands and just laugh and talk and look at each other and share whatever's going on at that time.
That is so
What a beautiful story about love
You
and
guys
connection.
make the world a better place.
Honestly, I'm going to go call my sisters now after the show. Linda and Lillian, it's been so amazing to meet you and hear about this wonderful bond that you both have. Thank you so much for stopping by DBL.
You guys are great.
We'll be right back.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
When you're out and about or even at home and you're feeling thirsty, you could be reaching for a can of soda, a bottle of water, or even a cup of coffee. All of these in so-called single-use materials that can have another life if recycled properly. We checked with these sources to verify how to recycle cans, plastic drink bottles, and disposable coffee cups. You absolutely should recycle aluminum beverage containers when you can, but should you crush a can before recycling it? No.
It's okay to crush them a little bit to make room in your recycling bin.
But our sources say fully crushed, flat, and skinny cans are harder to detect when sorting through mixed stream recycling at recycling facilities.
Small items tend to fall through the screening process and may get lost in the system.
Are you supposed to remove the cap of a plastic bottle before recycling? No. In fact, for the very same reason you don't crush the can, you should leave the cap on to ensure it's recycled.
And if that cap is removed, it's not going to make its way through the process.
The EPA says to leave labels on the bottles as well. Are disposable coffee cups recyclable? Let's break it down. Republic Services Waste Management Company explains the cardboard sleeve is recyclable, but the cup itself is typically paper coated with a plastic lining. That won't properly break down in most recycling facilities. However, it depends on where you live. The District of Columbia is one of few places in the country where you can toss a disposable coffee cup in the recycling. Most plastic lids are recyclable, but that will vary based on the type of plastic and your location. It's information that takes seconds to look up and could keep items from spending years in a landfill.
It matters for the planet, it matters for the people, and it matters for the economy.
Whatever it is you're tossing, make sure it's as clean and dry as possible. Not only does that help the machinery properly identify and sort the different materials, it's also, as a reminder, a really good thing to do for the people who are sorting through all of this and making recycling happen.
Welcome back. Our skin doesn't have to lose its natural elasticity and firmness as we age. Thanks to Crepe Erase, your skin is not done looking young. Crepe Erase Ultra is the #1 anti-aging body treatment system for dry, crepey skin, specifically formulated with True Firm Plus, patented peptides, and encapsulated retinol. Crepe Erase Ultra visibly transforms the look of crepey skin instantly and over time. And with summer right around the corner, you can feel confident in your skin. So don't wait. Head over to crepeerase.com now And when you order Crepe Erase Ultra, you will get the Ultra Smoothing Neck Repair and 4-in-1 line smoothing capsules absolutely free with your purchase. Call 800-220-9119 or visit crepeerase.com today. We'll be right back.
Welcome back. How did a housewife dodge wedding day drama? The Rhythm Nation strikes back, and an idol goes back to school in this week's What Erica's Watching. First, Bravo's Ultimate Girls Trip united two shady housewives. Candace from Potomac and former peach holder Portia.
Here's my shade tree. I'm coming in to smack you with it. You knew it was coming. Portia's was like, I'm a nice girl, but boom, no, I'm not.
Well, the two reality queens shaded each other because of Portia's relationship with Candace's former castmate, Monique. Now, back when Monique was on the show, Real Housewives of Potomac, her beef with Candace got so heated, it fired up a physical altercation, which was no bueno. But Candace and Portia were actually able to get past that. So much so that Portia decided to invite them both to her wedding. Well, Portia had two separate weddings. Of course she did. Candace was invited to Portia's American-themed wedding, and Monique attended Portia's Nigerian nuptials that honored her husband and his family. Next, Janet Jackson fans are not happy with comments from an online troll. Janet is a true triple threat, but someone seems to think that her dance moves are, well, basic, and that she dances like chicken and is one of the biggest names to waddle on stage. Now, this poultry diss didn't go unnoticed by Janet fans, who were quick to set the record straight by posting clips of Janet's signature moves that inspired global superstars like Beyonce and J-Lo. Now, only a nasty hater would agree with this troll. And finally, let's hear for Fantasia. The American Idol and R&B queen has come a very long way. She learned how to read later in life, then got her GED, and now she's enrolled as a student at Central State University, a public HBCU in Ohio. Now, last year, she got her first taste of higher education when she became an honorary member of the Black sorority Sigma Gamma Rho. And you know how this girl loves a good comeback story, so congratulations. Share with me anything that catches your eye by using the hashtag DBLEricaWatch. We'll be right back.
David's Bridal filed for bankruptcy protection for the second time in 5 years. The announcement comes just days after the company said it plans to eliminate more than 9,000 U.S. jobs this year. And that has verified viewers curious if the company is still selling dresses. So let's verify. Can you still get your dress order fulfilled at David's Bridal? Our sources are court documents, David's Bridal, and Laura McKeever, Senior Manager of Brand PR, Philanthropy, and Communications for David's Bridal. Court documents show David's Bridal filed for bankruptcy protection on April 16th, but the company says it's in the process of looking for a buyer who can continue to operate the business going forward. In the meantime, Laura McKeever, a spokesperson for David's Bridal, says the company is still fulfilling new and existing dress orders in-store and online, and that the company plans to fulfill those orders on time. So we can verify, yes, you can still get your dress order fulfilled at David's Bridal, despite the recent bankruptcy filing. The company says it is also still currently honoring gift cards, exchanges, and returns. With your Fast Fact, I'm Ariane Till.
Welcome back. We love sharing your comments. Of course, everyone's talking about the twins, Lillian and Linda. Julia says, these queens look happy, healthy, and fun to be with. Sherry says, wow, what a great story about an unbreakable bond.
I wanted like one of them to close their eyes, and I wanted to hold up a number and see if the other one could guess it just because she saw it. You know what I'm saying?
They have a bond that's very telekinetic.
If you notice, they all had the same
You kept saying it like the way they moved, everything was the same, yeah.
And they were separated in 1955. We hadn't even thought of going to the moon. I mean, that's incredible surgery for the 50s. Wake up, Jeff. Wake up.
Oh, you okay, Jeff? Yeah. I don't know how she tied the moon into that. That
Think about that's incredible science.
Interesting.
DBL's new every day. We'll see you Monday, same time, same place.
Show.
Bye, guys.
It was a great ending.
Where hope finds help. Where courage meets conviction. Where makers make fans. We are Tegna, a family of local and national media brands that bring us together, serving the greater good of our communities, where national know-how backs local business. Be in good company with Tegna.
DBL, this show is amazing.
There's a lot going on down here.
The men are different here, though. You would take the money.
I would have been part of the Mile High Club.
Yeah.
I don't want to have a conversation about what happened before 2020. I want to have a conversation about what's happening now.
There shouldn't be a bias. To
Agreed.
Erica's point.
I am riveted by everything you say, all your opinions. It's so good.
So on point.